Strolling down the sunny lane, watching clouds drift by, talking about the golden past we could hardly buy, dreaming of exotic lands where the sun's always
Hey y'all, it's
high, but we
Joefer, the
know
Cranky
it
Old Gay
ain't
Guy.
easy.
So it must be a record. This is the second day that Portland hasn't had rain. And I am out here celebrating it. That's right. It's actually kind of pleasant. It's in the 50s, which is, again, odd for this time of year, at least this year. And I am out here in my fur, well, one of them. And the reason being is I kind of thought that, you know, when all the gays and lesbians get rounded up, put in concentration camps, it's probably going to be in, you know, red, white, and blue land, which is now Greenland, so we can work the mines for those precious minerals that the orange Cheeto wants to grab. So that's what's going on there. Hence, I'm out here just wearing something. I feel that if I'm locked up like that, I should at least be dressed for it, right? Cross the street and avoid the people coming at me on the sidewalk. Jump over here. Alrighty. So what I want to talk about today, well, celebrity news. Thank you. Celebrity news. Yesterday, Michelle Trachtenberg was found dead at her home in New York City at the age of 39. And for those of you who don't know who she is, she played Buffy's little sister on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I guess she was in Gossip Girl for 4 or 5 years, but I didn't watch that show. And on Buffy, Buffy didn't have a sister in the first 2 or 3 seasons. And then suddenly she did, because Dawn Summers, which was her character's name, was just created out of nothing, or out of energy, because she was hiding from some evil demon or something. It was confusing, but she was on it. I've seen her in a few little movies here and there. I guess she was the first person to play Harriet the Spy years ago when she was a little kid. But that's your sad celebrity news for today. Oh boy, 39. They aren't suspecting, what I want to say. They aren't saying it's a homicide, put it that way. But it's probably something more like heart failure or drug addiction or drug overdose, or maybe she got a little fentanyl when she shouldn't have, or maybe she just had an illness that we didn't know about. And that's where that stands. So in the news today, oh boy, what can I say that's not super political? Because it seems that everything is super political now. The orange one has come up with a new immigration policy for rich people. If you have $5 million, you can buy a gold visa, which gives you the same rights as a green card, which is a resident, a resident card in the United States, and it puts you on the fast track for citizenship. Hey, how are you? Hi, look at this. You got a little friend right here. Oh yeah, oh, it's a cute one. So, that's what you can do if you're rich. Because you know, the biggest immigration problem is that we're letting poor people in, right? And people who, well, are the wrong shade. Now, a reporter at this press conference said, anyone with 5 million? And he said, yes. And he said, does that mean that you would allow Russian oligarchs to buy their way into this country? And Trump said, yes. I know a lot of Russian oligarchs, and they're really nice people. If that doesn't tell you that he is in the pocket of Putin, I don't know what would ever convince you. I also want to add that yesterday, I was talking about this in a public setting, just the administration in general, because they were talking about my channel, so I talked about what I talked about on the episodes. And they started stating that, well, these were Republicans, I'm guessing. They were defending Mr. Trump and saying that he's doing everything to save America, and we should just let him do what he wants, do his thing, and you'll see in the long run, it'll be for the best. Well, as I pointed out, if you let him do his thing and President Musk do his thing, there will not be an America to be worked out. You will have the super rich and you will have the super poor and nothing in between. Not to mention all the people are going to be homeless because of all the cuts at HUD, meaning difficulty in getting loans and loans being called in. And it's a mess. And people who will not be able to purchase their medications because of the massive cuts that are in this new proposed budget policy that was just passed by the House. All Republican voters. I think one voted against it. None of the Democrats voted for it because it prolongs the excessive tax cuts, like 67% tax cut or something like that, that the uber rich received the last time Trump was in office. Now that expires, I think, on April 25th of this year. And this new policy will extend that. I think it's infinitum. There's no end to this new extension. I could be wrong on that. Someone said it was 10 years. And then when I was reading, the article I was reading stated that there was no end date. So don't hold me up on that one because I don't have the facts. I haven't read the actual document because I haven't been able to find it. But then again, it was just voted on yesterday. So, in doing that, part of this policy is severe cuts to Medicare and severe cuts to Medicaid. Now, for a lot of people, Medicaid is the only health insurance that they have. Why? Because they're considered too poor to purchase insurance on the Affordable Care Act insurance exchange. Now, I've got my own issues with the exchange because, for one, it's not affordable. Because if you can spend $100 to $400 a month for insurance, it's great. But then to use the insurance, you have to meet your huge deductible. And then they'll only pay part of what your bill is. So you're still in huge debt if you have any medical issues, even on the Affordable Care Plan. So think about the people who don't have that. They have Medicaid. Medicaid covers most things, if necessary. It doesn't cover like Viagra or anything like that. It doesn't cover cosmetics. It doesn't cover even a hernia. I know someone who is on it who had a hernia and waited 4 years until the hernia becomes so bad that it affects every part of your life. Then they will decide to take care of it. Even though if you took care of it early, it would be quick, easy, in and out. Wouldn't be a lot of stitches or patching. It would be a quick operation. It would cost less. And then that person could get back into the workforce and start contributing back to society. But that is not how they see it. And I just saw something I've not seen before. This is an alley I've never gone down. And I see some, looks like ADU buildings I want to check out that are right on the alley. Getting back to what I was talking about. Just letting things ride and see where they go. It's much like I've stated before that in Congress, every time you support Trump in a vote and what he wants, what you're doing is not only hurting the country and destroying democracy as a whole, but you're putting yourself out of work. Because in 2 years, if you think, you're doing this because you're afraid Elon's going to put up someone against you in your vote that comes up in 2 years, well, don't worry about it because you're not going to have a job in 2 years anyway. By voting for these things, you're giving all power to the executive branch, and they won't need you. They won't need you at all. Now, I'm curious how they got away with this. How? They took 2 lots and they put in 4 full-size homes. This one right here is about 5 feet from the back property line. Wow. Interesting. I didn't know you could do this, because I know when I was wanting to build a shed on my property, I was told that you have to have 25% greenscape. So it can be gravel or dirt or whatever. It just has to be yard. And I can tell you right now that the way these are built, wow, they're only like 2.5 feet apart. And I was wrong. They put 3 full homes on each lot, not 2. I don't know if you can see that, but there are 3 homes back there, not just 2. Huh, that is frightening, the way that the city will bend the rules for developers, because it increases their tax base. Yet for the individual, you can't do that to your property. You're required to have a yard, and you're required to play by the rules. But I guess if you have money, much like in politics, money talks, and you can do anything you want if you put money in the hands of the right person. Right now I'm walking by another huge development. I think this is a 54-unit apartment complex, if I recall, when I saw the billboard before they built it, with 0 parking. It is right on Alberta, which is a business district. And in this particular one, it doesn't look like you're putting any retail on the first floor. It's just apartments. And that's kind of odd as well. I'm just gonna walk a block or half a block of the business district, and then I'll go back into the neighborhood where it's more quiet. So bear with me. Oh boy. Oh, early on, our walk.
Ran away.
I don't know. Let me see
I'm
here.
into it. Eva, that you couldn't have found a better house.
That was someone having a video call, sitting in one of those little street covers, eating cover things. Wow, they've really built this street up too. Jesus. Yeah, I haven't been down this way in a bit. I know where these, this is a huge home right here behind me. That was a little burnt out house last summer. Walking down the street in this fur coat, this is Portland, so no one gives a crap. But if I was to do this, let's say in Eastern Oregon or outside of the Portland area, I would get looks and remarks and probably called some derogatory things, because for some reason they think that men shouldn't wear fur coats, even though it is a men's fur coat. Okay, back here, I crossed over because there are people doing landscaping and just kind of chatting out on the sidewalk, and I didn't want to walk through them and have to explain what I'm doing. Okay, look at that. Wow. That's those 3 homes I mentioned. Right there. It's amazing that they can get away with that. Actually, where was that? It's right there. Yeah. Huh. It's 3, 4, 5, and then this one right here goes all the way back to the alley as well, which tells me they don't have a yard, which I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's a single family home. Only one address. No A, B's, and C's. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm wrong. Wow. That is it's one of those skinny homes. And it goes all the way back, but it's actually 4 homes. Someone is going to make a boatload of money on that property. Each one of those individual homes is going to probably sell for $850 to $975. 3-bedroom units, even though it's tiny. Yeah, the cost of property is crazy. Speaking of that, Perhaps I can talk to you about Ron DeSantis and the state of Florida. Yeah, I know he's everybody's favorite person. He gave a speech yesterday. I saw on, I don't know where I saw it, but it was on TV. Yeah, it was TV. It wasn't just the web. And it was a news thing. And he was giving a speech about eliminating state taxes, property taxes in Florida. The reason being, he said, was because you bought this, it's yours, you shouldn't have to keep paying for it. Now, I agree with that sentiment, and I would love to see that here, but your property taxes are what pays for everything here. It's even paying for roads now. It used to be gas tax, but supposedly, because of hybrids and electric vehicles, they're not collecting that. Well, there are ways to get around that. And they tried that early on with putting an additional fee on your registration, your 2-year registration when you get your car renewed, that if it's electric, you pay more to make up for that loss of gas tax revenue. Now, I don't know about the tax in Florida. I know they have a income tax, I believe. And I don't know how they're going to make up this difference in property tax. I don't know what their property taxes fund. But unless they like super increase their sales tax, I don't know how they're going to keep current programs that they have going without any funding. It's going to be interesting to see. I would love to see state property taxes go away. Oh, he's also getting rid of state income tax in Florida. Well, I don't know if they have it, but I know he was getting rid of 2 things, and one of them was property tax, and maybe the other was the income tax. Again, I don't know. I think Washington State doesn't have an income tax, but they do have a sales tax, which is 8 or 9%, and they seem to have money, so that could work. Here in Oregon, I would never vote for a sales tax unless they promised to get rid of state income tax. And while they're at it, get rid of property tax too. Property taxes are hurting people who don't have the income that keeps going up every year, although your taxes go up. So that's why a lot of elderly are stuck, because they've had a property for 40 years, they've lived there, and the taxes keep going up, but their income stopped going up a long time ago because they're living on either their pension or they're living on Social Security, and they just can't afford it. And the state seems to think that, well, if you can't afford it, you shouldn't live there. Well, you should be able to afford it. It's your home. The state shouldn't be able to come in and just steal money from you like that. Yeah, funding a city-state, just like funding the government, is a question. So here's my proposal. It's going to be based on population. So there will be a federal income tax on everyone in the country, every state. State income taxes will go away. Then the money that is brought in will be divvied up by population per person. So if Alabama has 1 million people, they get X amount. If California has 40 million people, they get 40 times that amount. That would pay for their schools and everything else that they have to deal with. As far as the sales tax, I've never liked those. I think sales tax should be incorporated into the price of the item to begin with. So if something costs $1, it should just be listed as $1.09 if it's a 9% sales tax. Forget adding things on at the last minute. I know that when Portland got rid of plastic bags in stores, some of the stores, I think Safeway was one of them, you would check out and then there would be a surcharge, a percentage charge at the end of your receipt. It's like, what's this for? And they say it's to pay for the paper bags that we're giving you or something like that. And it's like, what? Because now they're forced to spend more on paper bags, even though most stores will ask that you bring in your own bags. And the Walmarts out here, they don't give you a bag, period. If you want one, you can buy a reusable heavy-duty plastic bag that just It's like a disposable, but it's heavier, and no one's ever going to use it more than once. Hey, we're back again. Look at this. What's your name? This is a little root beer colored dog. It looks like a greyhound mix, but most greyhounds are very flighty. This one isn't. Hi. How are you? How are you? How are you, baby? Oh, yes, you are. You're adorable. You are just absolutely adorable. Oh, so adorable. Oh, yeah, you are. Okay. So I'm going to head back home. I've got a few blocks to go. And then I will take my dog out for her walk because it is a beautiful day outside. In fact, I won't even wear a fur coat when I walk her. I will just wear the sweatshirt. Why? You know, because. And I can see, I'm about 4 blocks from home, but I just saw an Amazon truck pull out from in front, well, near the corner by my house. So I'm guessing that my hair comb I talked about came in. And again, I don't know how it's going to work. It's supposed to be able to let me blend the sides, but we'll see. Right? That's where I'm going to leave this. I'm now in a shaded area of the street. I'm going to say ta-ta for now, and I will ta-ta. It's naked pool night tonight as well. And I'm actually feeling like I'm going to go. Last week I was too tired to go. The week before it snowed, so I didn't think it was going to be anything. And it's also, this is the last Thursday of the month. Yeah, next week is when it's going to be super busy because it's the Oregon Mandatory Naturism Club that meets there. Okay, I will let you all go. I will talk to you later. Have a good one.
Strolling down the sunny lane, watching clouds drift by, talking about the golden past we could hardly buy, dreaming of exotic lands where the sun's always high, but we know it ain't that easy, gotta get on by. Did you hear the latest buzz about those Medicaid cuts? Folks are feeling left behind, making all that fuss. We wonder what's the future holding, can't trust all those guts, but we try to stay upbeat even when it guts. Hey, let's chat, let's walk the streets where the stories flow and sunlight meets. Forget the mess, let's share our beats with everyone we meet. Xantic's got a bold move, eliminating taxes. People cheering, folks are fearing, wonder if it smacks us. Will it make the place a haven or bring on the axes? We just keep on walking, talking, sidesteps the cracks. Then we spot a friendly face, wagging furry tail. Neighborhood dog comes round, hopping on our trail. We laugh and give a pat, forgetting all the pale.